Are Gluna trail shoes worth your time? Here's what I found out after 75 miles of tough New England trails. All right, because I have a big and famous YouTube channel, I sometimes get offers for products, and I usually turn those down, but one thing I couldn't say no to recently was some trail running shoes. Okay, they're called Gluna, which is fun to say. Give you a complimentary pair of socks. What do they look like? These are the Gluna Hunts. They are completely waterproof, they say. Pretty good tread on the bottom. So I'm going to break them in right now and see how they work. First glance, they look a little chintzy, frankly. I don't care for the whole silver black pattern on them. Seems made well enough, but I don't care for the color scheme. But hey, that's just aesthetics. They feel all right in terms of comfort level. You can feel my heel shifting around in there. I don't care for that. It just might mean I need a thicker sock, but at least initially, yeah, it's way too much heel movement for my liking. Yeah, a fairly mass-produced chintzy shoe. I mean, I'm having a hard time just digging out the shoelace from the shoelace holder. This shoelace holder just kind of flaps upwards. Anyway, we're swapping out the socks. See if that helps. So when you're putting the shoes on, you have this weird hook. You hook it around. You slide the shoe on. You tighten it on one side, then you hook it on the other, I guess. And it just seems like an unnecessary extra step from the Solomons I have, but and then you gotta just pack it in here, but it's just not. It works, but it's just not great. Oh yeah, thicker socks definitely help with the whole heel shifting around aspect. We're kind of running with some thorns. It's a nice baptism by blood for these shoes. So yeah, 4 miles, felt pretty good once I thickened up the socks, but I'll report back after some more runs. Whew, okay, I just finished up a 7-mile run in these shoes, and they were good. I didn't really think about them at all during the run, so I think that's like that's a high watermark in my opinion. Yeah, they worked fine, so felt pretty good out there. And I did appreciate the waterproofing on them going through this tall grass, tick central, but also very wet, and they kept my feet dry. So. All right, good test of these shoes here on Lantern Hill in Stonington, Connecticut. Very rocky, technical ground, as you can see. And they held up well, offered some good protection, and they had fine grip on this dry, craggy rock, but then most shoes do as well. But yeah, they felt good going up and down this. I did it 4.5 times, so about 1,600 feet of climbing. It's a good little hill here in southern New England if you're looking for some technical terrain that sort of mimics the whites, if not in height, at least in surface. You can see this is just lots of little rock fragments, so keeps you on your toes, and shoes are pretty comfy going down this stuff. It is not particularly forgiving terrain, but yeah, shoes offer good comfort and protection. All right, so it's been a month or a little more. I've run 73 miles in the Gluna Hunts, and they've worked well. I've been happy with them. They have served me well on my regular trail runs, on my rooty, rocky trails. The toe protections come in handy more than once. They've stood up to wear and tear well. I think I said they were chintzy on my initial run, but they've held together. So I mean, I think comparing it to
The Salomon Speed Cross, they definitely doesn't look as like finely made, but you know, they've held up well. The treads doing good. They've been comfortable, very comfortable. I haven't really thought about them much on my runs. The biggest issue I had was just the sizing. I'm a 9.5, and with those thin socks they provided, my feet were slipping and sliding around there. My heel was just sliding up, and it was no bueno. So I went back to the car, and then I put a thicker sock on, and that did the trick. Immediately it was much better. And so as long as I wear thicker socks with these, there's no issue. But yeah, definitely check the sizing. You may want to actually go down a size. In terms of waterproofing, it works. I stepped in a stream, didn't get my feet wet. I ran through tall, wet grass on a bunch of runs, and my socks stayed dry. So yeah, I'd like to try them out in the winter in the snow with maybe a gaiter and see if it keeps my feet dry then, because that'd be pretty cool. Beyond the size issue, the biggest gripe I have is with the shoelaces. They have the same kind of cinching mechanism that my Salomon Speed Cross have, and I really do like that mechanism as an alternative to traditional shoelaces. But I find it just to be a little, just slightly clunkier than the Salomon version. And they have this hook. You have to like hook it around the side before you cinch it up, and it just is weird and off-putting and doesn't work well, and I don't like it. And the little pouch where you tuck everything in afterwards, the pouch is just a little too rigid because it's made of the same cloth, whereas the Salomon one, it has a mesh pocket, which just works a little better to tuck everything in. This is just clunkier all around, so I don't care for that. All right, so is it worth looking into the Gluna Hunts? Maybe. They aren't terrible. I've been very happy with them, frankly. Like I said, I've been using them as my weekly trail shoe. They've held up well. They're comfortable. The issues with the shoelaces and all that aside, once they're on my feet, you know, they're good to go. They are, you know, they are what they are. Chinese shoe company, you know, the box has poorly translated instructions for taking care of them. Avoid shoes to touch with sharp things or chemical matters, which is, you know, true for shoes and people. And that kind of tells you what you're getting. They worked well for me, so if you can get a good deal on them, you know, check them out. The Gluna Hunts, you know, not a terrible trail shoe. Well, thanks always for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and we will see you next time.